This morning we are going to do something different, you know what I mean? This morning we are going to just showcase a few of the books them that really, yeah, so if you're an entrepreneur or somebody who want to go on that journey, then we're going to try to show you some of the books them that we actually been reading, some of the books them that we think that can actually benefit your life in a positive way, right? And that's what the whole idea behind this live is all about this morning, right? It's all about top form showcasing some of the books them that really shape my worldview and shape the view in believing in myself and having the confidence to really just know that I can achieve what I've set out to achieve. You know, it's so it's wrapped up in books. As I said, the kingdom of heaven is wrapped up in parables. So the version of yourself that you're looking for, whatever you're trying to achieve in life, is wrapped up in books. No, it's nowhere, but it is in books. We a living testimony of that, right? Because yeah, if you look around, we just got like books and more books and yeah, and we just have to try to decipher and more books and yeah, and we just have to try to decipher before I need to be achieving stuff in life. We are going to show you some of the books them that you're not reading, some of the books them you should be listening to, right? We have went through our library. As I was listening to somebody, I think it was, and he said every successful house, every house over £1 million has a library in it, right? What does that tell you? Like the successful people read books. So the results you're not getting, the results that you want to achieve, the success that you're trying to achieve in life, it's wrapped up in books. It is literally wrapped up in books. So this morning live, right? Ultimately, we are a clothing brand, philosophical one, as we normally said. That's who we are, right? So we are going to take the time out just to run through our library. And these books, we actually go into our pocket. So we have them on different platforms, the audio version, and we have the hard copy, right? Books rule everything around me now. I think it was one of them rappers said, money rule everything. Books rule everything around me, right? Because I said you'll be a reflection of the people you hang out with and the books. I said money rule everything. Books rule everything around, right? Because I said you'll be a reflection of the people you hang out with and the books. You ought to get the best out the books. So it's not going to be, I don't know, sometimes my live them are not the most popular, but if you really want to learn something this morning and you want to spend maybe an hour and to yeah, learn something, then grab a pen because we're going to show you, because every book that you see I've got in my hand, every book there has been a extract, right? And I'm actually recording this to use it. So like I don't even want, if I don't even get a big audience or a lot of interaction, because I don't want to feel like I sit like I feel like I was talking to myself. So I said this is how my tactics I'll be using. So we're going to show you how we actually shape our philosophy. No, our days that we said, all right, we created a clothing brand, and this is the philosophy behind the clothing brand and what give us the confidence, the know-how, and to say, all right, you have to go into do this, you can do this, because it's not just sounding like a cliche, like greatness is within you, right? So it's the book we read, but not only the book read, how do we interpret the book? How do we take the knowledge? So some of the greatest man, right? How did we get a chance to sit down with the guy that wrote this book, George S. Clason? How did we sit down with him, right? Because I said there will be a reflection of the people that you hang out with. So how did we hang out with George Clason? He's been dead for generations, but his work was still here. So how do we get the benefit? How did we manage to get an audience with him, and not only get an audience with him, but actually use the information from that audience to benefit ourselves? So what we did, you find something in the book, because when you read a book, you're not going to really remember the entire book. But I guarantee you, everything you read, everything you listen, everything you come across, every sound, every smell, everything you interact with over the course of a day, over the course of a lifetime, it will leave a mark on you that you can actually, something will trigger you and you can remember it, right? So for this book, it was all about investment. It was all about financial freedom, right? And there's a lot of gem in this book, but one of them that stick out to us, it's not a case of how much you heard, but it's what you're able to save and how you're able to save. So he said that if you should put down a bucket and you're putting in like 10 apples in the bucket and you're going back and you're taking out 9, leaving 1, it will add up over a period of time. So when we understand financial freedom, we understand, say, all right, if we get $10, And to be honest, the most important lesson from this book was about paying yourself first, right? So even though I use that example, that was one of the way how I managed to pay myself first, because he said you have to pay yourself first, because a lot of people work to pay bills. And by doing that, you will never really achieve financial freedom. So you have to develop the mindset. This book tell you in no uncertain terms, pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. So whatever you work, right, make sure. So a lot of people spend and then them hope to invest, but you can invest, then you spend, because once you're going about the spending first, you're going always, you will never have anything left to save. So nowadays we're living in a time where the financial market now is no longer for the rich and famous. There's countless ways and means out there for you to get access to the financial market as a beginner, right? So you can set up something, and that was something that we did, right? We actually had stuff in place that was taking money directly from our money that was going into the bank. All right. And we're doing personal training. So as soon as somebody would book a block of personal training, as soon as a client would sign up with me, I would jump straight onto like trading 1, 2, and I would before the client even finish. Because sometimes I would look in advance and say, this week I set my target to sign up 3 clients. Once I sign up the 3 clients, I'm going to invest 1 client money will be directly invested into the stock market, and it does work. So that was the whole idea of paying yourself first, right? So we are just showcasing some of the books. To be honest, this live is not going to be popular and jumping up, because people don't, but no, we just doing this now so we can actually get the content. We're not going live, right? So we have to develop the mindset of paying yourself first. All right. So as I said, you'll be a reflection of the books you read and the people you hang out with. This guy, George S. Clayson, has been dead for decades, but you can still get the audience with him, right? By getting this book or listening to the audio version. I remember I came across this book from Jim Rohn, was doing a seminar, and he said one of the ways how we teach kids about money is actually by using the story from this book. And we actually went and purchased this book. From we purchased this book, we have not looked back. All right. From that book, The Richest Man in Babylon. All right. And like I said, that book is like so full with financial teachings and financial principles. So for those who just join in, we are just going over our library. We are just decided to share our library with you this morning. We're going to share our library. We probably won't have all time, right? Probably won't have all the time to show you all the books that we've been reading, but yeah, reading. Then once you read that book, for some reason this book pop up onto, because algorithm is good and algorithm is bad, right? Because I remember, if you're just going on these social media platform and only watching rubbish, it will feed you. It will give you more of what you want, right? But once we start watch Jim Rohn, and then Jim Rohn mentioned this book, The Richest Man in Babylon, and then we search it from ever since. It just keep on recommending more books and more books. And what we do now, we start listen to the books, take the excerpt, and if the book is good enough, then we had the book to the library. From that book, then we came on to this book. Now, unless you're born into a rich family, unless you win the lotto at birth, right? Depends where your postcode is from. Depends where I strongly recommend this book. This guy was a British philosopher. His name was actually James Allen, right? He's a British philosopher. But the beauty about this book, it's about 45 minutes listen. But if you listen to this book, it will impact your life. If you read this book, it will impact your life on a level where like you're going to have self-confidence, you're going to understand self-control, you're going to understand. And I love this book so much. At last Christmas, this was my main Christmas present last Christmas, because it had some quotes in it that I love so much. So when the wife was like, what do you want for Christmas? I said, I need something from James Allen book typed up, and I need it framed. So this is over my bed. All right. And this just reminded me that you should cherish your vision, right? Because it said, cherish your ideals, cherish the music that stirs in your heart, the beauty that forms in your mind, the loveliness that drapes your pure thoughts. For of them will grow all delightful condition, all heavenly environment of these. If you but remain true to them, your thoughts will and at least be built. So basically, you have to cherish your thoughts, hold on to your vision, right? But outside of that, it tell this book, the extract from this book, right? Yeah, it said, man, you're thinking secret, but it comes to pass. Man is nothing but a looking glass, right? So it's telling you that thoughts are things, right? Yeah, the quote I take from this book, because not only do I read the books, right? And I'm trying just to show you how easy it is to enlighten and enrich your life. Blessed for those who is interacting, right? So when I read the book, I get the quote. I remember Jim Rohn saying that you can't trust your memory. So if you're watching a movie or you're reading a book or you hear a song or you hear something that stirs something inside you. I remember I buy this book for my wife. She was starting uni and she didn't use it. It cost me £1 in Poundland. But nowadays, nobody could give me the amount of money. The amount of wisdom and knowledge is in this book, right? So as I said, as a man think it in his heart, so is he. All right? You think in secret, but it comes to pass. Man is nothing but a looking glass. That was profound, right? This book also taught me about serenity, right? It said a calm man is like a shade-giving tree, and everybody loves a shade-giving tree. So it talks about self-control because some people does not have that. Some people does not know how to control themselves. Oh, because even and it's funny because the more you read, the more you enlighten yourself. I've been in position since I've said I want to change my life. I've been in position where whatever I've been reading has been tested. I've been put into position where self-control has been tested 100%. Right? But it talks about many good men sour their life. Right, so you might be going to work, going to your job, and a co-worker may do something to upset you, and you lash out, and you wind up losing your job. He said many a good men sour their life because they did not have self-control. Right, this book. So if like I said, I'll just, for those who pop it in and out the room, I'm just sharing my library. I'm sharing the books them that impacted my life. Because I said you'll be a reflection of the books, the people you hang out with, and the books you read. As I said, Jim Rohn said that every house over £1 million has a library in it, right? If I want to live into £1 million house, I decide, look, I've got to start reading. I've just got to start reading. And when I can't read, I'm listening. If I'm commuting on the bus or on the train, I'm sticking in my audiobook, and I'm listening to my audiobook. And the results, my life is like day and light. This book, get this book, add this book to your library. Again, they said you think in secret, but it comes to pass. Man is nothing but a looking glass. You are who you are and where you are because of your thoughts. Thoughts are things. All right? Yes, this James Allen. Once I read that book, I then came across this book, The Science of Getting Rich. We have all been told that money is evil. If you grew up in a house where like money was not, we have all heard it, Christian belief, money is evil, right? But they say there's no virtue in being poor. You understand me? This book really helps you to understand, one, there is no lack in this world, right? You don't need to feel like anybody's taking anything that belongs to you. No one has anything that belongs to you. All right? You don't need to compete with anybody, right? As long as you're doing the right thing in the right place. Yeah. This book, The Science of Getting Rich, Wallace D. Waddle, help you to understand, because sometimes, as I said, you are a grasshopper in a land of giants. You might have an idea and you might think the big companies already run away with your idea, and you sit there and haven't getting started because you think there's no more customers there. No, this book will help you to understand. Nothing for you. No one has anything in this world that belongs to you. Right? No, and I see, I'm showing you them in the order. I had to come to that realization, right? Because when you're living in that darkness, when you start living in that darkness, you don't understand life. You don't understand the principles that really govern life until you switch the light on. Then it's easy for you to get caught up and be jealous and be envious of people, right? When you're living on that plane, that's why you have so much jealous and so much envious. That's why you might have family members and you might have friends who is jealous and envious of you, right? Or you can find yourself being jealous and envious of people if you haven't taken the time out to switch the light on to say, hold on a minute here. No one in this world has anything that belongs to me, all right? And we have to unpick that whole financial idea that money is evil because there's no virtue in being poor. Right? There's no point. You can't provide for your family. You can't protect your family. If your family is in trouble, you can't afford a lawyer. Your family is sick. You can't afford to take them to doctor. There is no virtue in being poor. So this helps us to understand we need to get away from that idea and that ideal. One, that people, we have to compete. And if we don't start now, you have this thing where they talk about the FOMO, the fear of missing out, because you think somebody's out there taking what belongs to you. That doesn't work like that. Once we read that book that we came across, Neville Goddard, He give us a different understanding of spirituality. All right, your faith is your fortune. You have to really believe in yourself. You have to, and he quote the scriptures, because if you have faith, they say faith is the substance of all things, right? But if you don't have people to help you to understand religion and to understand the concept of God and to understand the concept of creator, right? This book, it literally says what it says on the tin, right? Your faith is your fortune. So this helps us to have to understand that we have to believe in ourselves. We have to trust that voice that speak it deep into our heart, right? We have to speak it into being, speak it into existence. We can't be careless with our words, right? So this was the book that really, really helped us to understand. Never got hard, right? Again, feeling is the secret, right? So once we feel it, we are careful of the energy that we really allow ourselves to feel. We don't wake up and there's a lot of power. And blessed, yeah, we just my life, yeah, I'm just trying to share the knowledge. Welcome, brother, and yeah, as I share my library, right? To be honest, right? I wish I did understand these. Keep doing. Yeah, man, I'm going to keep doing it. You know, this man, I was just there and said, this man, I'm going to share my library, because it's easy for somebody to hear me come over here and saying what I'm saying and think it just happened by chance. You know what I mean? Like, we have become lazy in learning, and ultimately the results that you're getting in your life is going to be dictated on your ability to learn, right? Yeah, because the kingdom of what you're looking for, the better life that you're looking for, the financial freedom, the really everything you're looking for is in books. Because books is like the maps of life. You got people who was here before you who's actually said, this work, do this, don't do that, right? Once you read this book, feeling is a secret. Easy listen to, because I don't like the big, long, drawn out books, them. So this book is just letting you know that, hey, listen to me, control your feelings, control your emotions, feel like success. Feel that blessings, feel that power, feel that gratification, right? Feeling is a secret. I'm just brushing over them quickly. Don't be careless with your words. This book, Florence Shin. All right, don't be careless with your words. In the beginning was the word, and the word was with God. We cannot be careless with our words. We cannot be careless with our word. And that's the beauty of this book. All right. It speaks about the higher being, the higher consciousness. It talks about that. Just trust and just be careless. Don't be careless with your word. Don't be careless with what you ask for. Don't be careless of that picture that you hold in your mind. All right. Yeah. And again, the invisible power, right? The invisible power, because from time to time we will see things happening around us. We just can't understand it. We can't explain it. As in one of these, I think it was between this book where he said, I have ways that you know not of. Right? We have ways that you know not of. So sometimes some things might happen for us and we might not be able to explain it. We might not be able to understand it. So this book is just telling you, hey, there's a higher power, there's a higher being at work. All right. You just have to do what you need to do. Ask and it shall be given. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it shall be open. All right. Once you start reading those books, we shore up the spirituality, we shore up the faith that we start to believe. Then we came on to this guy, John Maxwell. He's still alive, because quite a few of these books, the authors, they are dead, but few of them are still alive and still doing some great work. John Maxwell, right? I love this book because, as I said, when I read the book and I take the lessons from the book, right? But sometimes, and I'll give you a quick example, right? Because it speaks about sometimes in life you might meet somebody who is really nice, who is really good to you, right? But then it can have a knock-on effect. So I will give you an example. I was learning to drive this year, right? And the driving instructor he takes responsibility. He just wasn't being able to get me ready for the driving, right? And he said to me, like, look, I'm going to give you some lessons, right? I'm going to give you some lessons. I'm going to give you some lessons and I'm not going to charge you for it, right? And I'm like, yeah, man, let's do it. And I drove with that guy for 1 year and it wound up costing me like, but what I'm trying to say, right? Sometimes you have to be able to walk away from kindness, right? And there is as a part in this book where he said when he went out for lunch with somebody and they wanted to keep him, but they wanted to take him out and lavish him and with praise, and he had to say, no, I will pay. Because sometimes when people do kindness for you, right? When people do too much kindness for you, you can feel like you're indebted to them, right? So, but this book, the 15 laws of growth. Very good book, right? Because if you're not growing, you're dying, right? I know I'm working on my storytelling about the driving. I don't want to spill too much because I take response. But what I'm trying to say, when you're reading the book, once you start to read the book, things will be happening in life that make sense, and everything that you're learning, you can apply them to life. I'll guarantee you, if you're reading these books, there's not one situation or one thing that will happen in your life that you can't say, oh, so basically I can say, oh, that was what John Maxwell mean. So nowadays you don't allow somebody to give you too much kindness, so you actually feel indebted to them, even when it's not working in your favor. Because if it's not working for you, it's working against you. All right, this book, and in this book, it also got lots of good quotes from very successful people, right? Once we read that, then we came across this book now, because now we feel like we have the knowledge. Think and grow rich. Think and grow rich, right? We can't. This book is like the Bible for wanting success. All right. It's a desire is a starting point for all great achievement. As I said, once you start reading the book, I'm not going to be able to remember this entire book in its entirety. But what I love, once you start to read the books, and you can start take what you can remember, you can. So desire is a starting point of all great achievement. There's not one successful company, there's not one successful businessman or businesswoman who did not desire, right? And this book tells you about desire. It tells you about desire. It tells you about everything. So desire. From this book, the most profound lesson we take from this book, that desire is the starting point for all great achievement. Whatever you desire in life, all right. Once you desire, it's within your reach to do it. But you have to go and achieve it. We're just brushing through our library. So once you read this book, now we said, all right, we want to know what it is like now. So we are fully immersed. So once we motivated, we do a check on the spirituality. Now we say we are an entrepreneur. All right. See this book? If you want to be an entrepreneur, get this book. Get this book. 3 feet from goal. All right. Countless amount of lessons from this book, but one of the most profound one is more gold was mined from the mind of men than that's what's taken from the ground, right? As I said to you, right? You have to read the book. Things is going to stick. So basically, if you are doing a business, if you are getting frustrated, if you come unstuck, if you come stuck or unstuck, whatever, you can always go and find the expert. There's somebody out there to do what you cannot do. The story talk about the guy that was mining for gold. Once he struck the gold, he get the equipment, he start taking the gold up from the ground, right? After a certain amount come up, he missed the gold vein. Rather than go and seek a mining expert, he sold the mine to a junk man, and the junk man was wise enough, was smart enough to go and find that expert. Right? What does that tell you? Once a junk man found the expert, he told him to dig 3 feet to the other side. He struck back into the gold mine and was one of the richest gold mine in California. Right? So this book tell you more gold is mined from the mind of man than that's what's taken from the ground. It also tells you first come the dream, then come the struggle. It's at the struggle where a lot of people give up, and that's why they said a lot of small business fail in the same year. Arla, well on, Munchie. Turn off that just now. Stop bleeding on my life. I'm at work. Right. Yeah, this book, 3 feet from goal. If you are thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, I cannot recommend this book enough. All right, you should go out and get it. If you have a goal, if you have a dream to accomplish anything, right? Like I said, these are the books that empower us, that give us the courage to start our clothing brand. We are that, and every time you see we come over here, we open our mouth to speak to people. We are speaking from an informed position. If you want to be an entrepreneur, what you find with a lot of entrepreneurs, they want to run a marathon without training, right? They want to do what Mo Farah do. They want to do what all the great people who build companies do without the proper training, right? And it's impossible for you to turn up to run a marathon without training the body, right? Building a company, building a successful life is like you're going to be running a marathon. You have to train your mind. This book, I cannot recommend this book enough. First come the dream, then come the struggles. I'm building my clothing brand, and when I wrote that on it's like a silent seminar. I wrote it on a board where I walk past it, where I see it. Every time I feel overwhelmed, every time I felt like, oh man, it is hard doing what I'm doing, I remember that first come the dream, then come the struggles, right? from this book, 3 feet from gold. It talks about more gold was mined from the mind of men than that's what's taken from the ground. All right. If you ever think you want to start your own business one day, if you want to build a successful life, if you want to do anything of substance, get yourself this book. I promise you, if you get this book, you are shoring up your mind. Nothing will break you. That's what Top Farm is all about. All right. This book, The Philosophy of Self-Discipline. Doesn't get no clearer than that. The philosophy of self-discipline. All right. The philosophy of self-discipline. Everything has a philosophy. Everything have a principle in life. This book talks about understanding the lazy self, understanding the laws of inertia, and just understanding everything. All right. Yeah, we all have a lazy self. We all have that part of us that doesn't want us to achieve anything. We all have the part of us that will talk us out of doing what needs to be done. This book is a very, very, very beautiful book. All right. This book. Yes. The philosophy of self-discipline. You have to discipline yourself. You have to discipline yourself. And that's why sometimes in life, if you are a teacher, you're teaching in a class, you can tell the disciplined kids from the ill-disciplined kids. Disciplining is hard. And that's why not everybody wants to be disciplined. All right. But these books, I'm just sharing my library with you. The books them that really helped me along my way to date. Love this guy. Love this guy. Love this guy. The Essence of Success. It is such a beautiful book. It's full of so much quotes, so much simplicity, so much things that if as soon as you, yeah, like I can't say enough about this book. I really can't say enough about this book. Earl Nightingale, right? He's just like, say, it just talks about life. It just put life in a term, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like what's the difference about you have to willing to think, like the difference between my life or your life, you have to willing to think. Man, in one of his when he was delivering it, he said that, yeah, what's it called, it the Essence of Success. One of them, I watch it all the while, but you have to willing to think, right? It talks about, this book is like, I listen to this book at least every day. Like, this is one of my main go-to book, because every time you listen to it, it just never gets old, right? Yeah, yeah. So if you ever want to add this book to your library, feel free to add this book. Feel free to add this guy. Earl Nightingale. I think he's got quite a few videos on different platforms. He's got one, and my mind just went blank right now. Right? It talks about life is like a convoy. That's why we have the government. That's what's really protecting the weak amongst us. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, it's like a slow down to, yeah, it's a very good book. So once I've got lessons from it, but I'm just want to, how long have I been going now? But yeah, right. This book, this is the latest one I'm listening to right now. This is The Power of Concentration. The Power of Concentration. Honestly, right? Your ability to concentrate nowadays has been seriously monetized. Yeah, this book, this is like I love this book. It's actually on my TV now. If I flip the screen right now, you would actually see where I'm actually watching this now. I'm actually listening to the audiobook on a different platform. But the philosophy of concentration. You have to be able to concentrate. And the lessons I've taken from this book was, um dwarfs can do the works of giants when they have the magical ability to concentrate, but giants can only do the works of dwarf when they lack that ability, right? So what does that say? You have to be able to concentrate. You have to be able to concentrate on what you're doing. Discipline it, right? This book, beautiful book. As I said, the quote, my takeaway from this book, giants can only do the works of dwarf, all right? So, and dwarf can do the works of giants when they can concentrate. Good books. I hope you understand some of the things. And once I read those books, I literally just go here. I can always open this book, yeah, and just take something from those books and just say, all right, this is what that means, right? Like I said, there are three classes of people in the world: those who will succeed in anything, and those who will not. These people opposed to everything, right? And then the last one, like the third one, those who cannot. These people feel at everything, right? That was some of my books. Just tell me, say, all right, what class do you want to be? There's three classes of people in the world. What I'm trying to say is that the success that you're looking for, the success that you're searching for, it's wrapped up in books. Like, books rule everything around me. Books rule everything around me. I read, I listen, and that's why we are able to come over here and say, all right, you know what I mean? This is what that means. right? So this morning I just think I would have shared. See the amount of books, and that's only script. I know this is, yeah, right. The art, and I will show you this one, the art of getting money. This talks about charity. You know, this talks about being able to share your blessings and just, yeah, very good book. Easy. I see my books them. Very small. Feeling is a secret. Again, I love Neville Goddard because he's not all about just crazy spirituality, but he able to. It's like a metaphysical reasoning, because I think the metaphysical is beyond science, you know. So it's about helping you to understand how the other dimension of life work, and just having faith and just believing in yourself, right? And the Bible is there as a guiding principle to say, all right, if you do this, then this will happen, right? And so, yeah, I know I've got one person watching me from start to finish. Any question, drop me a message. But this morning I thought I would come over here. I'm normally working. Unless I'm in full flight, my brain isn't fully fired up. So this morning I wanted to do something different, because I noticed even when I was trying to quote something from Earl Nightingale, because I'm one of them person, when I'm truly fired up and the brain is firing on all cylinder, all right? Yeah, then I get more energy, right? So this man was a bit more of a risk training one, just to share the library with you, right? If I should get to choose 3 books that you should actually start reading as soon as you can, I would tell you to read these 3 books. If you should ask me what 3 books you should start read right now, I would say first, you have to understand, all right. What I love about this book, a slave, a poor man went on to be the richest man. Blessed for whom, like, you hear that sound that somebody I find value in what me I say. This book was just basically telling you that the poor man, a goat herder, right? He was actually asked to make something, and I was asked to make something for the guy, and rather than taking the money, he asked for the knowledge. Because sometimes, you know, when you get into rooms again, right? This book is also, if you look on it now from a different stand, because sometimes we get into rooms with successful people, sometimes we get an audience with successful people, we rather take the money, right? That's why they say labor for learning before you grow old, because silver and gold will vanish away, but a good education will never decay. Sometimes, you know, sometimes you have to give up the money just for the conversation. There was a raging conversation the other day, right? With somebody say, if Jay-Z, if you were supposed to get $3 million to, or a conversation with Jay-Z, would you take the $3 million, or would you go for dinner with Jay-Z? So it depends what part of the fence, because you can have that conversation with Jay-Z and he had enlightened you, he had sparked something in you, he has given you knowledge that you can go away and make 10 times that 3 million. Now, that was what this guy did. This was what the guy that wrote this, the richest guy that went on to be the richest guy in this book, that was what he did. He was asked to do some work, and he said, look, I'm going to do the work. I'm going to stay up all night and do the work for you. When you come back to pick up this, you need to tell me, how did you get so rich? And the guy said, you had a deal. The guy said, and the guy went on to start to mentoring him, right? Mentorship is important. I'm still looking for a mentor. I've never worked with one, but I realize there's a lot of fast people out there. And true, I'm so far down the road, you can't come and trick me and tell me you can mentor me. But all the time come on mentorship, because he was able to become the richest man in Babylon just because of mentorship. The right mentorship is important. The right people in your ears, the right people in your corner, the right people that's speaking to you. Because if the right people is speaking to you, you can't get the wrong results, right? And then once you do that, it's important for us to know the value and self-worth, right? Know the value, know your self-worth, and pick the negative voices, because you got people who's going to sow seeds of doubt within you. You got people who is speaking in your life for decades, for generations, right? That didn't expect anything of you. So sometimes you have to get in there and unpick those seeds, right? And this is where this book comes. If you are seeing yourself as a person of worth, a person of value, then nobody can come and really degrade you or tell you what they think you are worth, right? As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. I know I'm great, right? So who is you to come and tell me otherwise? That's what I think of myself. That's what's in my heart. I'm great. I'm a person of worth. And that's why we have top farm today. The science of getting rich, no one has anything that belongs to me, so I don't live. Because as I said, negative and positive can't reside in the same postcode. confidence and doubt can't reside in it. So you can't be confident in yourself and doubtful same time. You understand me? So this book will always help you to remember that, right? No one has anything that belongs to you, all right? Just be confident in yourself, be confident in your ability. That's what this book will ultimately, right? Yeah, and those are just some of the books. And once you start to read the books, once you start to read the books, don't trust your memory. Don't be lazy. Make time for yourself. Make time for yourself, right? Make time for yourself, right? Just literally, and just take out the gems. Because sometimes you might read an entire book and you might find 2 or 3 gems that you can, yeah. See, all right. This is from this book. This is as soon as I open this book, this is my journal. As soon as I open it, I came across the James Allen. That which is wasted, whether money or mental energy, is remained powerless. That which is selfish, retained, and hurried up is you can't waste energy, and you can't be selfish, and you can't just rush things, right? So once you do that, you're giving up your power. You understand me? So it's all about just reading the books, taking the knowledge, right? Again, he said, the poor who wishes to become rich must begin at the bottom, nothing below, but everything above, right? So if you're at the bottom and you wish to become rich, then all right, you are here. So look up and let's get going, right? Yeah, man. So once you start to read the books, take the knowledge. Don't be lazy, right? Once you start investing, and this is me investing in myself. And it does pays off. It pays off volume. It pays off volume, right? It pays off, right? And because even sometimes you might speak to somebody. I remember when I was on holiday, I was speaking to a guy that he was begging me some money. He's like in Jamaica. I was on a hard time, we got talking, right? And yeah, because I remember, I never forget, his mom died and he couldn't make it to the funeral. And I was on holiday and he come up to me. I was in a taxi and the driver ran him away and I'm like, come here. And I give him some money and he keeps coming. He watched me and see where I was staying, and he came back one day and me and him was talking. And he said to me, don't watch the condition, watch the ambition. All right. And I put it in my book because, bro, that was just some gems, man. We're living in a time now where if you look out your window, you not even want to get up out your bed, much less to start a business. Like the business, the economy, and there is somebody that giving me a gem, man. I'm like, just give me a minute. Let me get my book. Because you see, even when I was going on holiday, I didn't leave my journal, man. You never know where inspiration is going to come from. I was in Jamaica. This book was the first thing in my suitcase with a pen. And the guy said, don't watch the conditions. Watch the ambitions. Watch the ambition. And I'm like, bro, that's worth the waiting goal, right? But I'm saying that to say this. You see, there you go. You have to be taking notes of what move you, whatever strike a card with you, whatever get you to react, right? You have to willing to. You can't trust your memory, because if I was trusting my memory, I would have forgotten about it already. I would have forgotten about it, right? I would have forgotten about it. There's all of these books that I've read. I can't remember everything in it. I can't remember everything in all those books, right? But what I do when I watch a movie, right? When I watch a movie, I will always, if I'm watching a movie, I'm sitting, because sometimes Hollywood put out some good gems in the movie. I think the last one I was watching was about critics. You know what I mean? It's somewhere in this book where it said critics basically don't offer up any works to be criticized, but they are willing to criticize you, right? So what does that tell me? You can't worry about critics, right? And I love that so much. I remember I was watching the movie with the family, and I'm not the quickest writer, but I was just there, like, I'm just like, could you pass that to me? You know what I mean? And it's somewhere in this book. And after I've done that, I have actually felt a different level of confidence, right? Because it was saying, I think it was Ratatouille. I was watching Ratatouille, and it was just saying, critics basically offer nothing to be criticized. They're just happy to criticize what other people offer them. Who is the brave ones? You are the brave ones, not the critics. Critics are cowards, man. Critics are coward. I'm trying to find it to see if I can read it, right? Because it's somewhere in this book, right? Yeah, it's somewhere in this book. But it's basically saying critics are coward. People who like to criticize you are just cowards. They weren't brave enough to do what you are doing, right? And that's why we'll never have any great critics in this world. Does that make sense? Yeah. I can't find this. This book is full of knowledge. I hope you enjoy my library. Books rule everything about me. All right. I love James Allen. I love James Allen. Christmas, this was my pride. This is actually, imagine somebody said to you, what do you want for Christmas? And I'm like, I actually need this. It was actually from the James Allen. It was actually from James Allen. Said, what do you want for Christmas? And I said, I need this typed up as a man thinketh, James Allen. And this is part 6, visions and ideal, right? The dreamers are the saviors of the world, right? I'm able to communicate with you now because somebody dreamt it up. Think about it. The world can't forget the dreamers. Somebody dreamt it up. All right. With that said, I hope one person was watching me. I hope Roger, I can't call a name. I know you've been watching. I appreciate. I can see yes. I can see that. I appreciate, right? I appreciate. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. We appreciate you taking the time, and I hope you find some value in what I'm saying. All right. Yeah. Them say who have raw meat seek fire. So you would have seen that somebody just want to hear something of value. All right. Yeah, and that's just what it comes back to. That is literally. So this morning I said I would just open up my library for discussion. All right, we'll just open up my library for discussion because yeah, it's just good to show you what we've been reading, who we've been listening to. All right, and that's why we have Top Farm Wear because, as I said, we are ultimately a philosophical clothing brand. We are who you are and where you are because of your thoughts. All right, and there's many other books I haven't gone into. There's many other authors I have mentioned. I've mentioned Jim Rohn much in this reasoning, who told us life and business is like the season. We haven't spoken about Les Brown, who told you from you can look up, you can get up. It's one man opinion of you doesn't have to become your reality because everybody is going to have their own opinion of you. That doesn't have to become your reality. All right. And again, I can't say much about Mr. Earl Nightingale. He is the goat. He is the goat. All right. Told us to be patient. Patient is bitter, but the fruit is sweet. All right, Earl Nightingale. So as I said, you will become a reflection of the people you hang out with and the books you read. So these great guys might be dead, but if you start to get an audience with them once a week, 1 hour a day, 10 minutes a day, you will see your life will look different. Trust me, your life will look different because you are listening to people of value, people of worth. All right, they might be dead, but they leave us knowledge. Love this guy. Essence of success. If you want to be successful, there's the essence. It's beauty. When you talk about essence, we are talking about beauty. Right? I love this book. I listen to this book. I think if you go on my audio book now, it's actually this book probably it's a very long, it's about a 10 hours listen. Right? But it said it on the tin. It's the essence of success. What do you need to do? What do you need to know to be successful? It's literally wrapped up in this book. It talks about you name it. It talks about it. It covers it. Yeah, that's why. So this book is our listen to this book. I think it's about 10 hours out of listening, and I've listened to it like 3 times, right? 3, 4 times, and then we get the hard copy. All right. So yeah, just make sure you're listening. It said that your philosophy is like setting at the sails. You know what I mean? It said your life will. What we like about Earl Nightingale when he talks about a ship in the harbor or a ship going to a destination without a captain or the right, it probably end up on some island derelict, Like, but if you put the right people on the ship, 9 out of 10 times, by apart from some crazy event, you will wind up at your destination, right? And this is what we love about this book. Talks about your philosophies like setting at the sails, right? Selecting the right people in life to make sure you're reaching your destination. Earl Nightingale, The Essence of Success. We love this book. We very, 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 very much love this book. We can't recommend this book enough, right? As again I said, right, if you are not really reading books, if you're not really, then it's easy for you to sit down and say, then that's just life. Like it, cause we have been there, right? Because if you're just blessed, we realize like before we start read Blessed Wagwan Margan, realize we're just living in the dark and we weren't able to see life different till we really start to read the book and switching the switching that's clicking that switch and turn it on, right? That's literally that was just what it is because we are if you are blessed with life, that's just a part of the equation, right? But we have to willing to be Wago and Maga. We start learn things and we start see things different, right? We stop because it's easy for you to get caught up in jealousy, in bitterness, and that's just because you probably don't understand that no one in this world has anything that belongs to you. It's probably because you don't understand. Happy Sunday, Morgan. Wagwan. We just a share a library, Bless you. We're just sharing our library. with me and my one person I watch me since start. I'm super grateful. Share the library and just make it help you to understand. Like, yeah, this book, I love about this book. This book has really saved me. I think there's no other book that has the impact on me than what this book really and truly has, apart from the Bible. As even the very Bible, you so say, boy, the Bible was written and the Bible is this. I've come to realize, like, the Bible is literally like a blueprint for your happy and successful life. And as much as we might say we're not living fully to the Bible, but we can only blame ourselves because now you know better and you should be doing better, right? But there's no book out there. Well, come through, man. You can flow, man. You're all right. We are work. You never know. You never see me work like that, no? You never see me work like that. Now, man, we are thought leader, man. We are blessed the people, you know? Top form, man. You understand me? So this book, there's no book. This book single-handedly, right? Because even to control, because if you think about it, you as a 6'7" man, or you're a big man, and you have your wife and your kids at home, and you don't have control over your emotions, the happiest you will be is when you are not in that house. He said that a calm man is like a shade-given tree. Think about it. And everybody love a shade-given tree. But I may tell Margaret, there are some big man, them can't control them temper. Everybody in the house is afraid of them. Everybody in the house, you're a big man and you live with your woman and your kids and they are truly afraid of you because you cannot. A calm man is like a shade-given tree. This book, like, is full of gems. I could run through this book, like, I know there's a few books around me. I get like more than one lessons out it. It's like the lessons in this book. It just talks about serenity. It talks about you are who you are and where you are because of your thoughts. Thoughts are things. It talks about sacrifice. The greater the sacrifice is, the greater the rewards. He who sacrifice a lot will achieve a lot. So you have to look in your life and see where you are. And the measure of your success will be a measure of your sacrifice without sounding harsh or judgmental. Right? This book, beautiful book. James Allen, I listened to him, English philosopher. Right? He's from somewhere down in England. I hope to visit his birthplace one day. That's on yeah, James Allen. All right, books is good. Books is good. Books is good. And this book really helped me to understand I should steer the course. As an entrepreneur, this book helped me to understand to just steer the course because guess what? First come the dream, then come the struggle. Right? Yeah, like even every time I sell a t-shirt, I just realize like this book is right. This book is right. This is the best book for every entrepreneur. Get yourself this book. And if you could have want to start sell to an Etsy or whatever, them just art over and just get yourself this book, man. Shore up yourself as an entrepreneur because more gold is mined from the art of men than that's what's taken from the ground. Speed Road. This was the book, Will to Power. Speed Road. What is it? Speed Road. Let me see if you can get a speed road. Let's say dwarf can do the works of giants when they have giants can only do the works of dwarf when they lack the magical ability to concentrate, but dwarf can do the works of giant when they have the ability to concentrate. This book is where that come from. All right. Yeah, speed run. This science of getting rich, because I'm about to wrap it up. There's no virtue in being poor. All right, you have to can enjoy the finest things in life, and if you desire it, then you can achieve it. Wallace D. Waddle. Desire is the starting point of all greatness. So you have to desire it. This book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Desire is the starting point of all greatness. You know, some Americans say me, I don't really. John Maxwell. I probably couldn't give you one single quote from this book. There's so much in it. I don't think I ever pull out one single quote because, all right, but as I open it, say, whenever you are, success or failure in life has little to do with your circumstances. It has much more to do with your choices. So your success or failure, just come back to your choices. I need to there we go. It's probably the only one I probably couldn't just give. There you go. The richest man in Babylon. Yes, the richest man. What can I say about this book? It's just the book. Yeah, just read it or listen to it wherever you are in your financial journey, right? Because it said if you put in 10 apple in a bucket and you take out 9, you have to be all right. Pay yourself first. That's the lessons from this book. Pay yourself first. A part of what I earn is mine to keep. That's the lesson. Why am I not? A part of what I earn is mine to keep. Not for family, not for friends, not for the debt. A part of what I earn is mine to keep. All right? A part of what I earn is mine to keep. There you go. This book. This book will tell you a part of what I earn is mine to keep. Of course, I could go on. I could go on and on and on and on and on, but I will not. Every good performer knows it's time to leave the stage. All right. We are Top Farm. You find us at www.topfarmer.com. I've get 1,000 likes this morning. It is more than a bargain for. You're right. I hope I've enriched somebody's life. I hope I've blessed somebody, right? I hope I've really get you thinking, because sometimes life is just like them padlock that uses a number. Sometimes you have three numbers and you need one more just to, yeah, you just need one more to completely and open it, right? And you have to just willing to accept and just willing to start to invest in yourself. It compounds over time, Yeah. Your life, go either you have to live with one of two discipline. The discipline of pain or the discipline of regret. You know what I mean? Because discipline come with pain, The pain of discipline are, yeah, because it's hard. But if you discipline yourself and pay the price, then when it's time to reap, it's good to have something to keep you going. Definitely, right? Definitely, right? We have to have the balance in life. As I said, there'll be time when no one. I don't come over here every time and sound like. Let's be positive today. And let's be. It's not even about being positive, and it's about trying to enlighten somebody and say, look, yo, it works. If you're still young and you got your health, you understand where I come from? You can, as a wise man said, you can't change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction, right? Yeah. And we went into COVID like just wondering, and we are saying, no, we are just saying to ourselves, there must be better out there. And we start to read the books, them, and we start to say, all right, we have to take responsibility for our actions, because guess what? Wherever I am in life, I put myself there because you are who you are and where you are because of your thoughts. Yeah, and that's the beauty, and that's the honest reality. That's the reality of life. Yeah, and we start listening to Jim Rohn. Yeah, and once you start listening to Mr. Jim Rohn, you realize, say, all right, everything is going to be all right. Probably listen to Jim Rohn, we start listening to Bob Proctor, and we start listening to Bob Proctor, we start listening to Les Brown, and we start listening to Zig Ziglar. When a Zig Ziglar famous quote, no make nobody don't let anyone kick your cat, because sometimes some people just going through some stuff and them just come on, you know what I mean? If you never listen to the Zig Ziglar one, they say kick your cat. I don't let nobody, I don't react to people I act. Even the other day, like I said, no, when you try to live a life of understand, because what I find the hardest thing to do is to live positive in a negative world. And if you are somebody who want to prove that and come back and tell me, like, just go out now, put yourself in a happy place or a happy space and go out into the street, go to the shop, go about your daily business. There's somebody going to do something that's going to try and upset you. And this is why you have to be in control of your emotions. You can't let people dictate your happiness. I'm happy. I'm genuinely happy. I genuinely don't let people dictate how I feel throughout the course of the day. I cannot give up that amount of power. I cannot. And this is where you can't. I'm glad I've come. I think it was a Bob Proctor reasoning where I picked up that. And from I picked up that, I've never looked back. I am not going to let somebody dictate how I feel. Because if I'm going to let you dictate how I feel, I'm giving you the right to my happiness. I don't do that anymore. You simple thing, sometimes you might hold the door open for somebody and then walk through it without even saying thanks. Like, you want to say thanks, you say thanks. I do it because I want to do it. The last time I was in Glasgow checking into a hotel, like the guy at the reception, he was just, and I realized the importance, as I said, once you start reading books, self-control, you realize I wasn't reacting. I was acting nice and polite, and he was the one who was reacting, right? And he just looked like an idiot. I think he didn't even finish his shift. They sent him home because I'm checking in as a guest, and here is this guy just acting. He's just being as up. And I've actually said to him, like, why are you behaving the way you are? Right? Because you understand the importance of acting, not reacting. You decide how to act. Don't let somebody decide how you react. Right? Yeah, definitely. And that's all because it's hard. Is it easy? No, it's definitely not easy. And I cannot sit here and say, oh, it's a walk in the park if you want to be positive, if you want to be happy. It is very hard living a positive life in a negative world. You have to willing to do it. Otherwise, it's going to be a miserable and long one, because you are coming across people who is just there to just who just want to piss somebody off. Don't give up your power. If you're allowing people to dictate your happiness or your sadness, stop it. Blessed whosoever give me the interaction. I can only pass it on, I can't sit here with the knowledge, because when I use one candle to light another, it does not diminish the other. So if I can tell you something that can get you thinking, I think that was a Earl Nightingale. When you use one candle to light another, it doesn't diminish the light of another one. Right? Yeah, definitely. And that's what Top Farm is all about. Ultimately, I can only tell you and say, check out www.topfarmware.com. That's how we say will to power. Right? You have to work on yourself. Work on yourself. Put in the hours. Personal development. You can only decide. Because if you are going around and let somebody who's dragging you into their miserable existence, then it's going to be a hard life. It's going to be a hard life. Like, I'm not going to let you dictate how I feel today. I'm not going to give you, why would I give up that to us? Why would I give somebody that power over me? Why should I let you decide how I feel? If I allow you to let me to be reacting, because that's why a lot of people go around life just reacting. Because they are just reacting to somebody else's environment, what's going on in somebody. They don't know what a next person is going through. That's why sometimes you can't. That's why I was one of these books. You can't take things personal. You know, we don't take it personal. It's all right. That's just what's happening in his her space. You know what I mean? Yeah, we're not going to allow you to really. That's why. And I think it was Bob Proctor. It's about understanding frequency. I was watching Dynamo, Magic Chick, and Sky the other day, and I felt like I felt like when I first see Dynamo doing magic, blessed whosoever is giving. My mind used to be blown. But it's not, since I understand what's up, my mind is not blown anymore, because I understand the power of the human mind, right? Yeah. I know how we do it. I might not be able to do it because I don't summon that kind of energy, right? But nowadays I don't see it, and I don't get as, like when I first see Dynamo walking off a building or doing, I just see somebody just doing something that's extraordinary, but he understands the power of his mind, so he's able to do it. Bob Proctor talk about the power of the mind, the frequencies. And that's why if you are in if you are in a bad frequency, that's why sometimes when you claim you're having a bad day, just keep getting on from bad to worse. And here's a trick. If you wake up and you feel like you're in a bad frequency, a bad energy, work twice as hard. It's like Bob Proctor say, if I pick up my phone and call my friend, I don't expect to get my brother nor my sister, because I'm calling that number. Life frequency is like that. If you're in a bad mood for the day, you can guarantee. That's why a lot of people having a bad day and end up into a fatal accident, because it just keep happening. And as I said before, right? And I don't want to repeat. I was in my missus car there a couple of days ago, about 3-4 months ago, and so basically I went to the train station. I said I can't tell a story, because every time I try to tell a story, went to the train station, buy the train ticket. The train got cancelled, so I went to the counter to get my refund. The person that was supposed to do the refund, she was just being nasty. So me and her ending up, I'm like, you're a customer service. I'm here for a refund because the train is cancelled. The short version, so then I phone my missus, she come and pick me up, and she's in a bad mood because, she don't like when I get treated untoward. You know, that's good woman, look after the man, you know what I mean? Bless her up. You understand me? And then, so she started to drive in, and I'm like, no, we're not going to drive on that frequency, right? Because guess what? Once you're in that space, bad things is going to start happening. And so say done, we narrowly escape an accident. That wasn't her fault, but because you're in that bad energy space, bad things just, and that's what Bob Proctor taught me that. So I don't stay in a bad frequency. Positive. I need good things to keep happening. I need to, and a lot of people, the uninformed mind or the uneducated mind might hear it and say he's talking rubbish, but frequency. Life is about energy. Energy is frequency. Life is about energy. All right. And this is why when somebody doesn't like you, when somebody's got ill feelings towards you, you can feel it. The energy. Life is about energy. I say if you come from my life, we're all about energy. We're all about positive energy, positive feeling. It's top form. It's will to power. Hey, the one person we are watch me from start to finish, give me a follow. Drop me. You earn yourself a top form tease, you know. You're a true trooper. Have a blessed love, right? Life is about energy. Energy. Life is about frequency, positivity. And you mean a lot of people nowadays say, oh, it's positive or no, man, you can't. No, personal development, develop the mind, body, soul. Because there's no point you grow 6 foot, but you have a mind of a child. That's why you have so much adult child walking about. You've been rocking with Top Farm. Share the library, share some thought. We are go back here on a Sunday, all right? We are do it from the family home. So make the record show the dog are barking in the background. Top Farm, blessing. Munchilus. Yes, you know.